Welcome to this week's Q&A. We have a question from one of our viewers in Hong Kong this week, and he's asking a question in relation to borrowing as an Australian expat to buy an investment property in Australia. And he's been told that he has to pay a very expensive interest rate to do so. And he's contemplating, well, the question is, shall I pay cash to purchase this investment property rather than go to an Australian bank and get a loan because I've got to pay this really expensive interest rate? Now, the answer is obvious, and it's no. So as an Australian expat, you don't have to pay an exorbitant price for an investment property loan. Now, most people would take an investment property loan on an interest-only basis if that proved to be a flexible solution, because they can generally deduct the interest against income that's derived from that investment asset. But the reality is, at the moment, the way the finance market is in Australia, many owner-occupiers are currently being charged the same or even more for an interest-only loan on their principal place of residence that they live in than someone buying an investment property and taking an investment property loan. It's something that's changed over the years, I suppose, and currently the banks are looking at things in this light. But even when that wasn't the case, the difference between an interest-only investment loan or principal and interest investment loan and owner-occupied loan generally is only 10 to 20 basis points. So let's look at that in some context. If you're going to buy a property and borrow $1 million, let's say, and you're going to spend an extra 10 basis points, it's $1,000 a year on a tax-deductible basis. It's clearly not a material consequence. It's irrelevant. However, if you then go and pay cash for that asset, you don't have the ability to deduct that interest expense, and as a non-resident, you're going to be paying tax on your taxable Australian income, which is rent, starting at 32.5% from $1. So it would be a very inefficient and abjectly silly way to try and look to maximize your financial efficiencies by doing this. In other words, there's no reason not to borrow the funds simply because you're under the misconception that you're going to be paying a far more expensive interest rate. You're not. You're going to be paying the same as an Australian resident for that investment loan, and as I said, at the moment they're currently very, very similar to owner-occupied loans. So if you find yourself in this situation, or you've heard from other people, other expats around the world, that you're being leveraged against in this manner, it's actually not true at all. And if you want to get any more information about this, then please don't hesitate to reach out, email us or call us, and we can give you some general information. If you like this, obviously, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click like. But then if you need some more specific information that relates to your situation, we'd be more than happy to book a time for someone to contact you and go through that and assist you with making that choice and hopefully coming up with a most efficient outcome. I'm Andrew Unterweger, and I'll see you at next week's Q&A.